Fashion and Textiles at Stafford College. On the course, we cover, I would say, is in the first year, the foundations of fashion. So from pattern cutting, design, illustration, going to garment production, how you'd make it in the industry, from very experimental textiles and illustrations. We cover everything really in the first year. From that, some students will go off, like I say, into be fashion designers. They follow all the latest trends. Or do you want to be like the next Gareth Pugh, the next big designer, UK designer? Or work for someone like Vivienne Westwood. Or perhaps it's the embellishments, the textiles, more like the beadwork or embellishment. And this could be for fashion or interior design. We're getting more students coming across now, using the skills they learn in fashion and taking them across into interior design, doing a lot of fabric manipulations and, again, embellishment. Or some of our students will go off into a completely different direction from fashion, but more going into costume, especially like the period costumes. Or then they go to bridal, more the romantic. Bridal lingerie is another one that some of our students will go into. And these are just some of the looks from the runways. So it allows you to build a range of skills. Then from the 2-year course, then you will then specialise in different directions. Some of our students will go into fashion journalists, and I always say to be able to go into journalists, you need to be able to know how to make a garment before you can criticise and analyse the latest trends. Some will go into fashion communication, sort of like promotion, stylizing, working with fashion photographers, or they want the more business side, going into fashion buying. Then, or like you could open up your own brand. Some of our students have done that in the past. So it's basically really what you want, where you want to go from it. So it's learning all the new skills and then building on those. So this is one of the areas we do. We do the design, cut and manufacturing right from scratch, from the first sketch, taking it through to production, from pattern drafting. And we do get a lot of people from the industry because they know our students are taught the flat pattern cutting. It is not computerized. They learn it from scratch. And here's some actual students now working in the studio on flat pattern cutting. And like I say, some of them go off into a more costume route. We have students going all around the country working on quite some famous films from costumes, which I'll go on to in a little while. This is some more work from the illustrative side. And this is with them using screen printing, and then also these designs with the floral on the skirt were embroidery that they actually then went and created. This one did more experimental embroidery, and the main influence for this was Paris, the streets of Paris. And then last year we did all our new students, all the students that applied, we did a taster day. So they came in and straight away they were learning how to design, how to take inspiration from architecture and putting it into their design work. But then a lot of the students really enjoyed this. It was a good way of getting to know them. And then this is more like for textiles, so using different techniques again, and then putting them into more of a home soft furnishing base. Where some of our students will go to explore this further at university. Again, how surface pattern influences fashion as well as interior, or even children's wear. So when you first join the course, you will be learned, these are the kind of skills that I've said before, is pattern drafting, garment production, problem solving, sketchbook and research, trend forecasting, looking at what the next big thing that's going to be coming out, fashion stylizing and promotion, textiles, the history of fashion, because it always comes back, it always goes into a circle, but there's always an added twist. But you need to know how it's evolved and how it keeps changing. Fashion illustration, fashion photography, we do cover that as well. So our students learn how to use the camera and to create editorials. And again, it looks very professional in their portfolios. On the course, we also cover like work experience. So these are some of the things our students have done. They've worked on live briefs. We have guest lecturers coming in from the industry. We do some freelance work. And then some of the places some of our students have gone to, worked in Birmingham, the Royal Ballet, done the costumes. They've worked on Shakespeare, creating the costumes. Some have worked in the bridals. One girl worked for a bridal company down London, and then her designs were sold. So every now and again, she keeps getting a check, and that's about 5-6 years later. She's still getting the royalties from them designs. We've gone on to win big competitions. We did one linked with Coventry University, where we actually won first prize, and also we take part in the Hand and Lock, which is a worldwide competition. So we do a lot, and last year we did a really good work experience where we were approached by a charity, and it was for ladies who had decided not to have a reconstruction. So they still they had a mastectomy and wanted to feel feminine, and they asked the students to design a range of evening wear, underwear and sportswear, which the students all did. There's some designs there shown on the PowerPoint. And from this, then they made them, and then they took it on to a catwalk show where they raised £3,000 for this charity. But I think the biggest thing was they learned how to deal with the clients, and also they were quite specific of what they had to create for the customer. And I think they did really, really well. And there's just some images of the show of some of the underwear they created and some of the evening wear. And these are some of the links our students have worked on. One of our students now is still actually one of the male, the scouts for Select Model Agency, London Fashion Week, Claire's, the Royal Ballet, the Next, Shugborough. These are all local ones, obviously, to Staffordshire. Some of them have gone down to London Fashion Week and worked on Julia McDonald's show, helping create their runway shows for each collection. So this is the assessment, how we carry out each assessment, and it's about developing and evaluating your practice and performance, enhancing your personal and professional development, and allowing you to reflect on your performance. It helps you to understand how to improve your work and offer you the opportunity to consider and discuss your own progress. So it's all about really reflecting and seeing the journey, really, how you've travelled. And I think that's really important to realise that. And these are some of the jobs where the fashion and textile industry can take you. So you can see there, fashion designer, pattern cutter, print designer, children's wear designer. So that's just really on the design, cutting, manufacturing. There's many, many more. And the costume and bridal, so you're a costume designer, bridal wear, wardrobe mistress, a freelance costumer. So it's tailoring really what you want, where you want to specialise in. And then this is the other side, the fashion business and marketing. Some of our students work very closely with graphic designers, fashion stylists, like I say, more like the fashion photographers as well. And then this is more textiles and surface designs. So it's another different route you could go down. So after you've completed the extended diploma in fashion and textiles, you then have opportunity to further your education. And over the past 5 years, 100% of all our students have always gained their first choice. We've had students go into Central St Martin's, London Fashion, and there's some of the lists there where a lot of our students, one of our ex-students at this just completed Sheffield. She just finished this time and ended up winning the Young UK British Designer competition. She came first in that, and she started from Stafford and went to Sheffield afterwards. And then at the end of every year, we always have our end of year catwalk show, an exhibition. I think this is our showcase where the students they see their hard work come to life. And there's nothing, I don't think, nothing more satisfying than seeing something you've designed, you've made the patterns and created this garment, and then seeing someone modeling it on the catwalk. This was a couple of years ago, and then this one was last year in the Shire Hall in the town. And then we go to enrichment during the course. We went to Barcelona. We met the famous David Carson, world famous graphic designer. And I think even the fashion students gained an awful lot from the visit. The other one on the right is we went to see, took the students down to see the Dior show at the V&A, one of probably the most influential. I think it was so inspiring, that show, one of the nicest shows I've ever seen. And then we've had this was a textile artist who came in to give the students a talk and went through her portfolio. And it was getting that kind of professionalism to have the standard that they needed to put into their portfolios. And there's just a couple of images of students in London, one in Liberties and the other one just outside the V&A. And this is some of our feedback from our learners, saying that how the help and support from the tutors has been fantastic. The quality teaching is excellent across all the modules. They've thoroughly enjoyed the session. The knowledge and understanding is gained is invaluable. And I think this is the thing, the students really love what they're doing, and you can see that from where they go to when they leave us. And also they always constantly keep in touch as well, which is really nice. And they always end up coming to our end of year fashion shows and seeing what's coming out off of the catwalks. And I think that's about it, really. That's fashion and textiles at Stafford College. If you've got any more questions, feel free to get in touch. Like I say, like James said earlier, we have got our next open event coming up soon.